everybody, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of 10 Minute Tuesday. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. In this episode, I have Kim Tricker in the building. Kim, what's going on?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we've done a number of these, so let's dive into it. Kim, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I have been in data analytics for about 8 years. I have a master's degree in data science and business analytics. I'm a Tableau Ambassador. I was just named a Tableau Public Ambassador last year. In those 8 years of analytics, I've kind of worked everywhere. I've been at Lowe's.com. I've worked in the financial services industry. I worked for ADP, the payroll company. And then I went to Disney. I was doing work for their media division and some analytics for ESPN. And now, most recently, my current job is at Cisco Meraki in the support data analytics world. And I live in Winter Park, Florida, with my wife.
Awesome. So, master's degree, Tableau Ambassador, a lot of great companies. I'm sitting here man, you've done a lot of cool stuff. But at a certain point, you had to get your start. So what really compelled you to get into data to begin with?
Yeah, my undergrad was in economics, and one of the courses that was offered during that program that I had to take was econometrics. And in that course, we did a lot of stat stuff, modeling, regressions, R squared, that sort of stuff. So that's where I was exposed to analytics, and I kind of saw myself being able to do something like that in the future. And my professor was, I kind of had lunch with him and was asking him what I should do. And he really pushed me towards getting my master's degree in data science and trying to pursue that as a career. It also happened to be had just been data scientist had just been named the sexiest job. So that kind of compelled me to. So he pushed me towards that. I found a program in UNC Charlotte that allowed me to work during the day and then go to my master's courses at night. So it was a 2-year program. So that was the time that I was at Lowe's. And I was exposed a little bit to Tableau during that program, but it wasn't until I got into one of my next roles that I was given a Tableau dashboard project to work on. And I was really, really blown away by the ability to take a blank canvas and turn it into something cool and be able to use that creative side of my brain and the analytics side. So I started doing dashboards and stuff outside of work and on data sets that interested me, usually sports stuff. And so then every job since then, I've been seeking out jobs that would only allow me to do Tableau or build a lot of dashboards because I enjoy it so much.
I love that. I think we're kindred spirits on the type of data sets for personal projects to get us better, right?
Yes, totally. Yeah.
So I love that. It's fantastic. All right. So thinking about your journey, your master's, but then you worked at different places, some really cool places, but then there are probably some places that you're oh man, this really sucked. So what's been your least favorite job to date? And it doesn't have to necessarily be data related.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky to have some good jobs. But sort of speaking about data sets and things that you love to do, the job that I had in the financial services role was not really something that interested me because I wasn't working in data that interested me. So ESPN was really cool because I loved working with media data. I watched TV all the time. I watched sports all the time. But this job in the financial services world was more 403Bs, 401Ks, brokerage data. And I was 23 and I did not care about any of that stuff. So the context behind it wasn't inspiring me. And it wasn't a job that excited me, even though I got a lot of experience and met a lot of good people. But I learned after that job that I want to be able to work with data that I understand and that would, interest me and compel me to do my job.
That's really fantastic and awesome. And you're actually the first person that I've connected with that said out loud that I have to have some type of excitement with the data that I'm working with to really get me up and going. I had a similar feel. I was in the healthcare space in different places and everything like that. And there was just different data sets. So I was man, it's so boring.
Exactly.
I work
tired of looking at that data.
Yeah. And so I think that's something that people don't talk about as much, that there needs to be some type of, connection with what you're looking at.
Connection to the data. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, that's really cool. That's really fascinating. And as I've grown, and not to pigeonhole myself, but it's fascinating through the journey. So I'll come back to it. So with me, healthcare, now that I've experienced and gotten older, I actually see like more of the process behind healthcare. So it's a little bit more fascinating. So now that you
Mm-hmm.
kind of, grown and mature and evolve, is finance data still as boring, or do you still see some of the like the cool, some coolness in it now?
Yeah, I think, it was my first data job too. So all of it was new to me, and maybe it was like kind of drinking from the fire hose, so to speak, of like learning about all of these data science processes in a role for the first time, and then also having to do it on data sets that didn't interest me. So now that I have some of the background of working with data and I know what to do when I see a data set, they can all kind of be similar, and I don't maybe need to be as excited about it or be as fully aware of like all of the context in the data. But I am now, like, yeah, now that I'm a little bit older and have more experience in the world, I do care a little bit more about my 401k.
Yeah. Love that. All right, Kim, what's one lesson that your job has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
um, so let's see. One of the things that I think has been like, there's tons of things that you can learn from analytics, but I think the thing that I've learned the most throughout all of my jobs has just been like the kindness, like being kind to other people, and I really, have loved working with people who have been kind to me, and so these are people that like make those 8 hours behind the desk or behind the computer that can be kind of boring or can be kind of monotonous. They make those days a little bit more exciting or a little bit more enjoyable. And there are people that are also going to come back and help you later, and you would maybe want to help them later because you want to work with them again. So just being kind to people and creating those relationships and building friendships, I think, has been the most important thing that I've learned through all of my different roles.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like relationship building is key, no matter what industry you're in. But you gotta
Yeah.
have the relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And you learn something new from every single person you meet. So you definitely become a better person yourself by just meeting more people and being kind to other people, and being open to take in the information that they have.
Love it, love it. So the target audience for this podcast are probably people who are trying to break into data analytics or they're just starting out. So what's one piece of advice you give someone who's just trying to get into the industry?
Yeah, so some of that of what I just said, I think applies. Staying in contact with people, so building those relationships and staying in contact with them is really important. I think it's helped me a lot in my career. Like the job at Disney, I got through somebody that I knew working at Lowe's. So if you stay in contact with people, they will help you out as long as you have a good relationship with them. They say networking is really important, and I think that, I mean, of course it is, but like going to networking happy hours and stuff, that's important too. But I think the really important thing is just like staying in contact with people and um, keeping contact with everybody that you've met in your roles is super important. And the other thing is specialization. Everybody's applying for the same data analytics roles, and you want to be specialized in something so that you stand out among that pile of resumes. So for me, it's Tableau, and for you, I mean, you have a host of things that you're specialized in, but in particular, Tableau for you. But like these things make you really stand out among the other people that are going to be all going for the same roles and all have the same SQL experience that you do and all have the same Python and Tableau stuff. But if you have some way to separate yourself from others, that's going to be really important.
Yeah, it's crazy out here. Like the competition is stiff and the roles are, a
Yeah.
lot. They're asking for a lot. I need an analytics engineer. I need a BI person. I need a biz person. You got to have something that stands
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And there's so many job titles for the same sort of things. So even though there's like differentiation there, you still want to be specialized in one thing, and then you can apply to all of these different roles and you'll still stand out.
Love it, love it. All right, tell me about the most influential people in your life and how they made an impact on you.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have a lot of really influential people. So my dad is a really hard worker. He owns a very successful business. I go to him for advice about basically everything, and I kind of credit him with some of my first data visualization work because I was a claims adjuster for him as my first job. He owns a claims adjusting business, and he kind of taught me how to like incorporate diagrams and images into reports in a way that like make people understand what's going on in the claim better than words would do. My mom is also really inspiring. She's also a very hard worker. She knows 2.5 languages. She's a professional singer. She's also just incredibly kind and giving and always puts other people first. So really proud of her and really strive to be like her. And my wife also, she's incredibly disciplined. She got her CPA degree by working super hard, and she accomplishes basically everything that she sets her mind to. So she always pushes me to be a better person. My brother too, he's a PhD in English, and he's like the smartest person I know, and I've looked up to him my whole life. And then I've also just got like a really good friend group that all have like really good careers and are constantly moving up and just kind of inspire me. So I'm lucky to have a lot of really good people and influential people in my life.
That's fantastic, man. Shout out to the circle. Shout out to mom, dad, wife, brother, friends, man. Shout out to everybody. That's awesome.
Definitely would not be here without any of them.
Ooh, awesome. All right, Kim, where can people find you at online?
My Tableau Public profile has all of my work, so you can just search Tableau Public in my name. I have a couple articles out on Medium, and then obviously LinkedIn, and my X handle is at Kim Tricker.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me on 10 Minute Tuesday. This was great.
All right. Thanks, Sekou.
No problem.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always. And like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Have a great day.